How about a JOAT update? What do I mean by JOAT? If you're new here, that means Jack of all trades. Yes, I think I coined that. Not the Jack of all trades, but calling it a JOAT. You have a GOAT, which is the greatest of all time. How about having a JOAT? Well, that's what we're trying to do. The chances of my JOAT being your JOAT aren't really that great, but we may have similar outdoor lives and tasks and things that we do. And that's what this is all about. The hardest part of this whole contest for me has been keeping in mind that a JOAT is not an EDC. An EDC is an everyday carry. I can carry my EDC and still carry my JOAT. None of these JOATs are street legal in New York. Your results may vary, but for me, it's a major consideration on the size. So some of the criteria for this have been no coating on the blade. Doesn't mean it has to be stainless. It has to be good at a whole bunch of tasks that I do outdoors. And that means I'm on a tractor, I'm mowing, I'm in the woods, I'm doing backhoe work, and I need to chop something. Well, I'm not carrying an axe. I need to have my JOAT with me. Something that can do that. Oh, and let's say I get a wild hair and I say, I would like to start a fire out here at the fire pit in the middle of the woods at my little campsite. Needs to be able to light a fire steel, make feather sticks, do that kind of thing. Pry on stuff. And then, if I'm really feeling randy, I go inside and I slice a tomato and I make a BLT, and I want to be able to use the same knife. That's kind of where my JOAT thing is going. So what we have in the running, and you might have noticed, here's the ESEE4. This is the first one I featured, but I have put an extended handle on it. Now, that still falls under the guidelines and the rules as dictated by the United States Department of JOAT. You can modify your JOAT to meet your needs. I even made a dangler out of an old bark river sheath, wet molded and all. So that's in there. Quite lovely. Now, why would I have it on this kind of sheath? Like I said, a lot of tractor work, a lot of getting in and out of vehicles. For a larger knife, this is pretty handy. Just bends out of the way. So keep that in mind. These are being presented in no particular order. And this is the knife that made it kind of confusing as to whether or not I was crossing that line between JOAT and EDC. You'll understand in a second. So this is a UP Bravo by Bark River in one of my all-time favorite steels, A2. If you have not used A2, you haven't lived. There is just something about it. It has such a cool grain structure and takes such an edge that it can take a it can take a scary edge. Hair popping, hide cutting, wood chopping, wood slicing edge. I mean, there isn't anything it can't do. And it resists staining rather well. 01, which is my other antique-y kind of favorite steel that are on Randall made knives, that'll sneak up and bite you and rust. This, a little more robust. In this sheath, it's not the one it came with, and this fire steel that did not come with it, but came with a regular Bravo that I actually took out of the running because as cool as that knife is, regular Bravo. Green micarta handle, red liners, so it matched that. it is too thick, just so freaking thick. And it was in 3V, which I like, but the UP has a longer blade and a thinner grind, thinner stock, making it more choppy. Yes, it will still baton through stuff. This one is in black micarta, hollow tubes, which make me a little nervous because these aren't actually bolted on like the regular handles are. So real heavy batoning and beating the hell out of this knife could possibly loosen these scales. And if that happens, I'm not sending it back. I will figure out a way using Corby rivets and that sort of thing to permanently bolt these handle scales on. I don't trust Bark River to do it right without screwing something else up. But this knife is sweet in the kitchen, does all kinds of great tasks, will go through wood like a laser because it's such a thin profile. I mean, holy crap. And with it being the UP, slightly ridged up here like a Canadian, something to baton on, and like I said, the longer length. The knife that this replaced that I thought was going to be in the running for JOAT was my UP Gunny, but that one's working more into possibly just EDC. It's not really street legal. The regular Gunny is, but that particular one has a little bit longer blade. For whatever reason, the UPs have a longer blade, and it also has A2 and is just a delight to use. So this is the other one that's in the running. Now, I know some of you are going to say, why isn't this in the running, Tom? You did a video on it, you've modified 2 of them, you use it all the time. Black coating is the only reason. Kind of the only reason. Pretty much the only reason. God, I could be a politician. I'm just wishy-washy. Not the best of steel. Heat treated rather well. But the modifications I did on this make it a great JOAT. You can chop till the cows come home with it, and it's comfortable. Comfortable grip, even in the cold, even in the wet, even bloody, doesn't matter. This one I have not modified to strike a fire steel, but I can still throw a spark. But because of the black coating, I don't really trust it in the kitchen. So it would not be cool of me to replace a Gerber Strongarm with a different knife. So I bit the bullet, sucked it up, put on my big boy pants, and I bought the Magnacut version. And you'll notice I did all the same mods. Extended the edge. Now, that in and of itself gives you probably another 1/8, maybe a little bit more, of blade. I highly recommend doing that. I did that on both of these. Just moving that edge back because for whatever reason, the designers thought, I mean, yeah, that's pretty, but that's a lot of wasted space right there. And then when they started the grind there, you're missing out on a whole lot of edge. So I moved that edge back, convex the hell out of it. Magnacut. And to Gerber's credit, they are heat treating their Magnacut nicely. This particular one came in a little fatter on the tip Then the black one, as you can see, not a problem because of stabbing into stuff and prying and all that. You know, maybe a little extra meat there is nice. The last modification I did was grind that down so I have a nice 90-degree spine and it throws a nice spark. I really like this knife. The one mod I didn't care to do this time was knock that off. Lovely knife. And it's riding in the sheath that I modified in that other video for that other knife. So, another one in the running for JOAT. Fantastic. And I knew I would do this if I... oh well. I'm here. We're going with it. So, I had the Fallkniven F1, and I thought that was in the running for JOAT. Well, that's a joke, actually. I damn near sent myself to the hospital trying to chop through that log. With an F1, it's small. That's more in the EDC. So that went out of the running, and I hinted at what might replace it, and this is what replaced it. And a lot of you suggested it. And I'm glad you did. Italy, CPM 3V, Italy. I thought, really? So I did a little investigation. Yeah, they're made in Italy, they're made in Romania, they're made in China, they're made in Taiwan. Nothing's made in the US, but Italy. So I got to thinking, gee, I wonder who in Italy could pull this off. I'm sure there's a few out there, but Molita came to mind. I can't confirm this, but they're the ones that make lion steel. And that's really a good quality, consistent knife. So I bought it. It showed up. A nice, thin edge. I haven't had to reprofile this. All I've done is touch the edge up. Didn't have to really do anything to it. And then strop it. And this is a hell of a chopper, a slicer, kitchen work, all kinds of stuff. With that belly, you could skin the hell out of anything with this. I love it. It goes through everything. I have batoned it. I have modified it and put a sharp spine just to about there. It has a slight drop right there, and that's normal. But I just sharpened that up a little bit. Not that I do a lot of bushcraft, because quite frankly, guys, I suck at it. I can't light a frickin' fire. I need propane torches and map gas and matches and lots of flammable stuff and gasoline. I can't light a fire. The only thing is the sheath that comes with it, which I don't have because this is empty, and like I said, I didn't bring it. I made a Kydex sheath for it. Fits like Cinderella's slipper. Perfect. Large tech lock. This thing is light. Oh my God. Now I could put all these on the scale, but it's the lightest of all of these. The heaviest is probably the Bark River, and then we've got the ESEE 4, and now we have this. This thing is so light. I forget that I have it, and because it's made in Italy, that makes it cool. It's not a Taiwanese or Chinese or whatever knife. It's from Italy. So it's the only one that's not made in the US, but that wasn't part of the qualifications. It's designed in the US. A lot of you guys suggested it, and I'm really glad you did, because there is something to be said for this kind of handle material. And there is also something to be said for this handle shape. It has a little bit of a palm swell, has that, and that's why it is a great chopper. I am debating about whether or not to shorten that up just a little bit, but it really hasn't come into play because the gap here isn't that big, unlike, you know, Gerber Strongarm, where you could drive a small vehicle through there. This is nice and small. You get to the meat of the edge right away. Overall length of the blade is about the same, but usable edge, you gain about 1/4 of an inch. Just saying, those things come into play. So I'm not telling you which one I've decided on yet. We're not going to go through a whole lot of testing and stuff. It's just, I grab one and I go out and I use it, and then I think I should have grabbed two. And the next time I'll grab two and I'll go out and, you know, kind of back and forth. I've got stuff to do. I'm a busy guy. I don't have time to be setting up a camera all the time and taking all the time. Oh, now look at me chopping through this. Oh, look, I can make a feather stick. This one just keeps finding its way outside and in the kitchen and doing stuff while the others might be sitting idly by, and I feel bad, but that's just the way it goes. And because I made my own sheath and stuff, it means I'm kind of bonding with it and I like it. I don't know. Is it the winner? I don't know. I can't tell yet. I have a couple more things I want to do, but no more knives. That's 5. And then, here's the big thing. When I decide which one is the JOAT, it's going to hurt. But I got to get rid of all these other knives. And we'll figure out what I'm going to do there. That's the update. So glad you're interested in this and are hanging around. And hey, I appreciate any comments. What do you think of each one of those knives? Do you own one of those knives? Give me some feedback, will you? Thanks. See you next time.